And that alone changed the game, right? Because now I could bring any agent from, they never had a license before, or they selling final expense somewhere else, or even selling IUL somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they could come work with me, and in 30 days, they could completely change their results.
Wow. Going, Digna.
Great.
Thanks for coming up.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here.
Absolutely. We are going to talk about some sales stuff. This is the next level. So, guys, welcome to the next level. You, so far this year, you're at 500,000. Well, that's as of the end of October.
Correct.
What do you think you're going to finish at this year?
Over 800.
Over 8, really?
I am going to kill
Wow. So in 2 months, you're going to throw up another 300,000.
I'm going to keep working.
Love it.
Nonstop.
Yeah, I believe it. And this is your biggest year as a personal producer ever.
Correct.
And you've been with us, well, how long have you sold life insurance total?
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
Yes.
Wow.
My biggest year.
How's it feel?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Amazing.
What do you think, what was key to you having your, and maybe I'm sure it's a few things, but what's one of the biggest reasons you were able to do so much this year?
Well, there's a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
So one, in 2023, I transitioned to Spanish.
Yeah.
And I'm serving a community that really needs to know about what we do, right? And then I went into IULs, like all in IULs.
Okay.
So obviously the premium is higher and the commissions are higher and all that. So that helped a lot, the numbers.
Yeah.
But I think those are the biggest things for me.
Yeah. Got it. And obviously you're fluent Spanish. Well, it's not obvious to people that don't know you, but you speak Spanish fluently.
100%.
That was your first language.
Yes, correct.
Why so long before you got into that market?
I'm passionate about the Hispanic market, but I never worked in Spanish in this industry, all my previous industries, right? And here specifically because I didn't have systems, right? I didn't have the trainings, the support, the leads. So I was like, I am not going to recruit a Spanish person. They're too passionate, and I didn't have anything to support them.
Got it.
So I went in 2023, I took a lot of my money and I invested in my business, and I said, I'm going to create the system, the lead system, everything. So I have the training support. We train daily in Spanish. Really? Every single day I train my team in Spanish. Wow. I do my Facebook advertisement and my lead flow, everything in Spanish, final expense and IULs. And that alone changed the game, right? Because now I could bring any agent from, they never had a license before, or they selling final expense somewhere else, or even selling IUL somewhere else. Yeah. And they could come work with me, and in 30 days, they could completely change their results.
Wow. It's funny because it really just sounds like a change of perspective, right? The same reason why you didn't do it for so long is the same reason why you did, right? You're like, well, they didn't have systems.
When I created.
They now, instead of looking at it as, well, that's why I can't do it, you're like, well, that's why it's a perfect opportunity, right? Because now I can create them.
Correct. When I went to Family First Life, my first thing was like, where's the Hispanic market?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like in my previous, network marketing companies, we'll have a Latino party, we'll have the Hispanic team. And I know what the Hispanic market could do in any company. And I'm passionate about it. Like this is 62 million Hispanics in the U.S. in the wrong jobs. And I'm like, no, we're going to serve those people. And I'm really excited about what we're actually going to do this year, towards the end of the year, finishing. And then into 2025, it's going to be explosive.
That's awesome. I mean, what's crazy, 65 million Hispanics in the country. 62 million.
Yes.
What percentage do you think has no life insurance or not enough life insurance?
Gosh, I'm going to say it's in the high 80s,
it's
90s.
Gotta be.
Yeah, they're not educated. And I talk to a lot of clients every day in Spanish, and they say, well, I talked to this guy, but I didn't understand what he was saying. He didn't speak Spanish. So that alone is a huge opportunity to have an agent that's fluent, that understands, that's educating that client in their language. They're gonna buy, and they're gonna bring their families, because we love that, right? We're very family oriented people, and now having a lot of agents working in Spanish, and going into that community is gonna be a whole other company. This is what I'm gonna promise to you. The next conventions, like 25, 26, 27, we're going to have more Hispanics than English.
I would love it.
We're gonna have to,
it,
you
yeah.
guys have to translate in English.
All right, let's do it. I love it.
That's my goal.
Okay, well, that's a good goal, and you heard it first here, so we're going to hold you to it.
Oh boy.
Well, I want to talk about a few things. So,
Yes.
common application pitfalls, right? So, filling out the application is part of the process, a big
Correct.
part, and it also it's a very important part because it can make or break the policy, right? If you
Correct.
do it wrong, if you put someone in a policy they shouldn't be in or can't, qualify for, you're going to cause a lot of unnecessary roadblocks, right? So, one question here: how do you help clients understand how certain medications might impact their application process, right? Because it's like you can't just go, listen, you're on that med, you're not going to be eligible.
Right.
No.
Can't do that.
So how are you, like, or bring me through your process when you find out about medications and how you explain that to your client? Because the last thing you want to do is present them this amazing product that maybe these medications prevent them from getting, right? So how do you make sure you don't end up in that boat, but also how you explain this to your clients?
So the good news now for us doing IULs is that we're targeting a client that's much younger,
Okay.
much healthier,
Yep.
and they have money.
Got it.
So when you talk, like doing IULs is much different than final expense. My clients will have maybe one medication.
Okay.
And it's like okay with the company, but you do find those clients that will have those medications
Sure.
that they just not going to qualify.
Right. It's not going to be most of them, but
Right.
you're going to run into them.
But I run into them all the time.
Yeah.
So the way I set up my presentation, the beginning, the discovery part, I just let them talk, and not at surface level. I want to get into the emotional part because they're
Yeah.
not going to make a decision logically. They're going to make a decision on the emotional part. So I ask questions, about what they about to get and why didn't get it before, why now, you're 45, why didn't you do this before? So when I get all those, that discovery and I find out, and then when I go deep into the medical questions, I do ask every medical question. You have to ask in a different ways because I'm going to tell you, the Latinos are very special. They would say, no, I don't have any medication. Say, how about any medication prescribed, but you didn't take them. You gave it to somebody else. Oh, yeah, but by the
Right.
way, I have this, and that.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Yeah, you put it that way. I got a few. So when you dig in and you connect with the client and they tell you everything, then now I know they're not going to qualify. So I don't present IULs until I qualify my client. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. Some people, unfortunately, they go at the beginning and they talk about how amazing this IUL. If I hear one of my agents doing that, I'm going to go crazy. They already
Right.
know we don't do that. We're going to pre-qualify your client, and then you introduce the IUL.
Got it.
That's the difference.
So bring me to that point now. We got to that point. You realize these medications,
Right.
you're not going to be eligible for the IUL. How do you break that to me?
So I say, hey, Carlos, I got everything that you told me. Is there anything else? Like, no, that's it. Okay. So based on what you're telling me, I have to do some extra underwriting for you. So I'm going to take everything in today. I have everything that I need. I'm going to call the company. I'm going to see which products you qualify for, because I don't want to give a 45-year-old right there a final expense.
Right.
Sometimes I have to do some digging and then call the companies and check my underwriting well. It might be something that I could offer them an annuity
Sure.
that they could pay monthly into. So I do the FIT annuity growth or
Yeah.
income, and they could put $200 a month, $300 a month. And then what I usually do for somebody that I know that's not going to qualify, so I prepare a package for them. So
Okay.
I do a final expense. You could do a Transamerica up to $50,000
Yeah.
for a young person with accidental. That's $100,000 in coverage.
Right.
Right. And then you have an accidental policy if they are, resident or citizen. You do a $200,000 accidental policy, and then you put the rest of that money that they already told you they want to put into an IUL and an annuity that they pay
Got it.
monthly. And now when I present that back to them, I went to work for them.
Yeah.
They're waiting for my answer. I call them back in 30 minutes, and I say, okay, John, this is what I got for you. The IUL itself, because of S, Y, and Z, is not going to be available to you right now, but they gave me these options for you.
Got
Here's
it.
what I got. You're going to have coverage.
Yeah.
You're going to have accidental, and you're going to be able to participate in the index with this annuity with the rest of the money. So they
Yeah.
got the whole package.
Right.
So that's a great way to do that with those clients.
That's awesome.